everyone. This is Janet Kellum, the creator and founder of the Everlasting Love Club, here today with Hump Day relation tip number 11, which is better first impressions. So this is a really kind of fun subject, I think, and one that people maybe don't tend to give enough credence to. So let's talk about that. When you first meet someone, or when you see someone who you already know and you haven't seen them in a while, usually the conversation goes something like this, right? It goes, "Hey, how are you?" And you say, "Good." And then they say, "Oh, good." Or you say, "Good, how are you?" And they say, "I'm good." And then sometimes the conversation can just kind of like take a little bit of a nosedive, right? There's kind of no place to connect or reconnect. So I would like to, for your Hump Day relation tip today, give you a little bit of a homework assignment. So instead of the next time you meet someone or see someone again who you haven't seen for a while, try saying something better, more exciting and higher energy than good. So you might say, "I am fantastic." Or you might say, "I am doing so great today." Or you might say, I'm having a freaking awesome day, or something along those lines. So that causes you to get into that kind of energetic space of that high vibration, good feeling stuff. And I think you'll be really pleasantly surprised by the response that you get from the other person when you're saying, "I'm doing great, I'm fantastic, I'm loving life right now." The tendency to just say good and kind of move on is kind of, it's sort of dull. It doesn't really do anything for you or for the other person. But I think you'll find that people's reaction to that is kind of like, "Whoa, oh, cool, like, what's fantastic, what's great," and it causes the conversation to kind of up level in that way. So I want to also talk about, if you are meeting someone and you are not feeling awesome, you are not feeling fantastic, I don't want you to lie. I don't want you to go in and be like, "I'm doing fantastic," because what that ends up coming across as is that sarcastic, which has the opposite effect. It doesn't attract people to you or draw them in. It kind of repels them. It just comes across as like kind of ugly. So instead of lying or trying to force yourself into some place that feels very different than how you're feeling, like let's say you just got a speeding ticket. I speak from personal experience because I have had my share of speeding tickets in my life prior to having my son in my life, which made me slow down quite a bit. But let's say you just got a speeding ticket and then you meet someone or you see someone again for the first time. You might want to say, instead of like, "I'm good," which also wouldn't be true, you might want to say something like, "Yeah, I've been better. Like, I've had better days." And that would be true. That would be authentic. And it also gives the other person that you're talking to a place to connect. Like, "Oh, like, what's going on?" Or what do you mean you've been better? Or that kind of thing. So you always want to be authentic, but just with an eye towards how can you lift your vibration? How can you feel a little bit better? So I don't know who that is that's there watching live, but hi, whoever you are. So I'd like to encourage you to give that a try for this next week until next week's Hump Day relation tip. Whenever you meet somebody, try, instead of saying good, say something better than that. Create a better first impression. Create a place of higher vibe, higher energy, higher excitement, and see how that impacts your life and your relationships. I think that you'll find that you'll start drawing in more and more positive, high vibration people yourself. And I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you again next Wednesday for Hump Day relation tip number 12. Thank you. Bye.